y'all feeling, man? We out here, man. We here to get to some topics tonight. We got to talk about Rihanna. We got to talk about Dwight Howard divorcing his wife after being exposed. We're gonna get into it tonight, man. Tune in, tune in, tune in. Let me know y'all in here tonight. Let me make a poll. I'll make a poll while I'm at it. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's make a poll while I'm in. Let me see. um, I'm gonna make a poll real quick. Who's more dangerous? Who's more dangerous? This is what I want to know. Who's more dangerous? Women or men? Because we're gonna get into this Rihanna topic. Her getting her house shot up, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. I feel for Rihanna. That's sad. Remember, Rihanna has what, 3 kids? Rihanna got 3 kids, man, and you got some mammy shooting up her crib. Who's more dangerous, women or men? I want to ask that question tonight. And let me put that up on the screen. This mammy who shot up Rihanna's house. Let's put her on the Summer Jam screen. Yeah, let's put this mammy on the screen. This individual right here shot up Rihanna's house. An absolute travesty, an absolute, like, I feel for Rihanna, man. I really do. Rihanna, she's starting her family. She's doing what she has to do. And let's be real, a lot of people try to clap at Rihanna for not putting out an album or not putting out music. Oh, why you didn't put out, a woman at some point in their life is going to embrace the next chapter in her life. She's went through, being a young, rambunctious girl. She's went out to the club, she's dated the different men. She's in a phase now where she wants to embrace her motherhood. A lot of you women need to grow up. I need the new Rihanna album. I need the new Rihanna album. Grow up. You're 35 years old. You're not married. You got 5 kids, and you're over here talking about you want the new Rihanna album. Go somewhere. Rihanna got 3 damn kids. Let the woman do what she got to do. And I'm not saying that that's the case with this woman right here. This woman is just, she's kind of out of her rocker. I've seen the videos. I've seen the things. I've seen the thing. I'm, call me crazy, but I think she's kind of cute. I think she's kind of cute. She's kind of cute. You know, um, she's my kind of crazy too. She's my kind of crazy. She's what I like to call crazy sexy, crazy sexy cool, if you will, like TLC. Um, but all in all, I really don't feel, bad for this woman. This woman, do I think that she's dealing with something mentally based off of the videos that I have seen? I do think she's dealing with some things mentally, but you know, shooting up Rihanna's house with an AR-15 style weapon. I'm hearing it was around 7 to 9 rounds that went into the house. Thank God Rihanna was safe. Thank God the kids were safe and ASAP Rocky were safe. I mean, just imagine if one of those, thank God it didn't, but just imagine if one of those bullets would have penetrated Rihanna or one of those children, man. It's horrible. It's terrible. So we have to keep that in mind. In terms of this woman, they're probably gonna throw the book at her. But what I do see is possibly I could see them possibly saying, this girl is dealing with a lot of mental illness, instability. What I want to ask today is who is more dangerous? Who's more dangerous? Who should we be fearing more? Because, we as a society, I feel like we vilify men more. We vilify men. We look at men as, men could, we always say women, oh, they'd rather choose the bear instead of the man. They don't want to be in the woods with a man. They'd rather be in the woods with a bear. But we see, women can be just as vicious. Women can be just as evil. Women can be just as vindictive. I mean, here you have a woman who takes an AR-15 style weapon and shoots into the home of a mother. I mean, you're gonna tell me that that's not vicious? There's men that would never do something like that. There's men that would never think to do something like that. So I'm just here to ask the question: who is more vicious? Is it men or is it women? I do think that men can be vicious. Men can be, dangerous. Men can do some very horrifying things, but so can women. So can women. A particular woman can ruin your life. A particular woman could, take everything you have, take everything you own, ruin your credibility, ruin your livelihood, take away everything you've worked for. We've seen stories of this. We've seen women come into men's lives and take everything that they own, everything they worked hard for, destroy their legacy, destroy their life. The classic biblical story of Samson and Delilah. We've seen this before. So I'm just asking a question in terms of who does more damage? Do men do more damage or do women do more damage? I'm just asking that question, just pontificating upon that question. Um, but in terms of this whole Rihanna story, man, how could you not feel for Rihanna? How could you not feel for Rihanna? How could you not feel for that family? How could you not feel for what happened? I mean, here you got a mammy, a Hispanic mammy who shot up the house of a loving family. I mean, let's be real here. And listen, she's a cute girl. She's a cute girl. She's a cute girl. She's not like a ugg mug. She's not no girl like she's a cute girl. What makes and I don't know nothing about her mental instability. I don't know if she's on any type of medication. I don't know her medical history. But what makes a girl like this do something like that? I just want to, because from what I'm seeing and from the things that I've seen so far, I don't see her being a super fan. I don't see any type of have y'all guys seen anything where because all of the videos that I've seen of her are videos of her, pretty much saying that Rihanna is an evil woman and Rihanna ain't got nothing on me and Rihanna got a big forehead and Rihanna is this. It's just pretty much her clapping at Rihanna. Um, so I don't see this woman being a super fan. I don't think this woman is a super fan. This woman is just don't like Rihanna. And we all have celebrities that we don't like. I'm just being honest. We all have celebrities that we don't care for. But what's the issue? What makes a girl like this? Because she's a cute girl. She's a cute girl. I could see somebody wifing her up. I could see somebody, listen, spending the rest of their life with her. I could see somebody wifing this girl up. I could see somebody wanting to be with this girl for the rest of their lives. She's a cute girl. What makes a girl like this do something like this? If it's not, if we're not falling into the theory of possibly there's something wrong there mentally she's dealing with something. If she just, a girl, who did something like this, what makes a girl do something like this? What makes a girl tick like this? What was the reason for this? What was the reason for this? You know, I would like to know. Hopefully we'll get more, information because a lot of people they're pulling up her Facebook records. They're pulling up her Facebook record. They're pulling up her Instagram records, and the Facebook and the Instagram records are pretty much saying, you know, she pretty much didn't like Rihanna. She pretty much did not care for her, did not like her. She wrote some very mean spirited things about her. Just no reason. No one's been able to find the core reason why. Why? Vince says she's literally uh batshit crazy. But Vent, would you smash though? That's the question. Vent, would you smash though? Yes or no? Keep it a buck. Would you smash though? Vent says no. Stop lying. Vent, stop lying. You wouldn't be on that? She can't possibly have good hygiene. What makes you think that? What makes you think that? What makes you think that? What makes you think that she doesn't have good hygiene? I think that I think me personally, I think that she's dealing with something mentally. I think that she's dealing with something mentally. I don't know what it is. From the videos that I've saw, it seems like she's dealing with something mentally. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not a doctor, but I think she's dealing with something, mentally. Vince says she's out her mind, brother. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. If she took an AR-15 style weapon and shot into somebody's home, yeah, I'd agree that there's something wrong with her. But at the end of the day, it's like I think I think this is probably what's going to happen, right? She's probably because her bill is at $10 million. She can't afford that. I'm pretty sure she's just a regular middle class girl from a middle class neighborhood. So I'm sure she can't afford that, and she don't have anybody that could put up property that could, help her with that. What's probably going to happen is she's probably going to plead, mental instability, plead insanity, because listen, they're gonna throw the book at this girl. You shot into the home of a woman, a woman with children, a pop icon. Yeah, they're gonna throw the book at her. But she's probably going to plea out. She's gonna take a plea. More than likely, she's gonna take a plea. Um, it's it'll be like smashing a doll, a lifeless figure. Listen, man, maybe she got that fire. You don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Maybe she got that fire. A lot of crazy girls got that fire, man. She on that Dell Gribble. Listen, man, I just want to know what makes a girl like that, you know, tick like that. And she does have charges. Let's put her charges up there. She's actually a domestic abuser. She's went to jail before, and what is it? Hold on. In 2023 for domestic abuse. So she's a batterer. Yeah, she's a batterer. I'm sure she's had a couple boyfriends and went upside their head, punched them in their face. She's a batterer, respectfully. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know this girl type. I know this girl. I know this girl's type. I know this. I've dated girls like this, and I've been around girls like her. She got that fire. She got that fire. She got that fire. I'm telling you, she got that fire. She got that fire. But what it really is she ain't worth the headache though. She might got that fire, but it just ain't worth. It's not worth the headache. You know, you can have the fire all you want, but it's not worth going to jail. Vince says tinfoil hat gang. Where the f she got that strap? That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, if she's from Florida, because Florida has very loose gun laws. Because I see that she was locked up in Florida. Maybe she's a resident of Florida. But it was in Beverly Hills though. And I know the gun laws in Beverly Hills are very not Beverly Hills, but in California are very strict. So that is a very good question. Where did she get this AR-15 from? How did she get an AR-15 in California and wind up shooting up this home? That's a very good question. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I was pontificating. I was like, is this one of ASAP Rocky's old work? Is this one of ASAP Rocky's? Maybe Ace. I'm not trying to throw it on him because I have no proof and I have no evidence. But I was thinking to myself, is this one of ASAP Rocky's jump offs? And maybe because listen, women get like that. Women get vindictive. Women. If you were let's say you were smashing a girl 2 years ago and y'all stopped talking and she still got feelings for you and she see that you moved on, you got a family, you living in a beautiful home in the Beverly Hills, a lot of women will, nigga, I'm about to get the strap and shoot up somebody's crib right now because they angry because they wanted that life. I'm just keeping it real. Women get like that sometimes. You'll smash your joint and she'll catch feelings, and you tell her, listen, I like you, but I gotta kind of move on with my life, and I'm not ready for a relationship. You'll move on, and then a woman will see you with another woman. She see you living a good life. You got kids, you got a family, you got a home, you got the perfect life, and she's thinking, nigga, that should have been me. That should have been my life, and she ready to get the strap on a hoe. So I was thinking, this possibly could have been an ASAP Rocky's old work. Maybe this is one of his old joints, and she was just a little angry. Vince says, if you ever take her to dinner, she gonna talk about Rihanna the whole time. Think about that. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, she's one of these, she's one of these people she's very obsessed with celebrities, because I saw her post and she was talking about Kim Kardashian, and then she was talking about Cardi B, then she was talking about Rihanna. So her life is very around celebrities, celebritants. Um and she really hates Rihanna. And I'm trying to like people online are trying to figure out, like, why does she hate Rihanna? People are trying to connect. I'm trying to connect the dots. Why does she hate Rihanna so much? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think we all have celebrities that we dislike. Maybe not hate, maybe not to the furthest degree of hating, but we all have celebrities that we just don't care for. Like for me, you ever heard of Big Groove? He's like this muscular dude on Instagram. He's always dancing, always doing these dances for food and stuff like that. Every time I see that dude, I cringe. Like, yo, get off of my timeline. Get off of my timeline. So we all have these people. For my mom, she absolutely hates the acting of Ice-T. Every time Ice-T come on TV, SVU. Oh, this guy. He don't know how to act. He don't know what he doing. So everybody has somebody or a celebrity that they don't like. But they don't take it to this realm of shooting up their home. This is like a whole nother thing. So it makes me think, what it really is. Is it just mental illness? Is it just a real hatred? Or is there something deeper here? Is there something deeper here that we're not, that we don't know of, that we're not privy to? It could be all three. For all we know, it could be all three. It could be all three for all we know. We don't know. We have no knowledge or clue. I would love to know. But clearly, she was arrested, and Vint is saying that she's crazy. She probably got bad hygiene. I'm telling you, man, the crazy ones are the ones that got that fire, man. Do you know how many niggas shot up the club of a crazy girl? Crazy girls got that fire, Vint. I'm just keeping it real. Why do you think niggas shoot up the club for crazy girls? Because they got that fire. You think niggas want to get hit upside the head and hit upside the head with a frying pan, or bleach all poured down their clothes, or car scratched up? You think niggas is willingly participating to be in these relationships? No, nigga. They staying because the girl got the fire. These niggas be knowing that these girls, they're not mentally well, they're not doing well, or it's a lot going on in their lives. They stay because they got that, respectfully, because they got that fire. Vince says autism and automatics. I don't know if she has autism. I don't know if I'm not gonna diagnose her because I have no clue. I do think that she's dealing with something, though. She is dealing with something mentally, and I don't know what it is, but I think she's dealing with something, and I can't put my finger on it, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I hope that she gets the help she needs. I'm more focused right now on the what's going on with Rihanna, because they saying that nobody was hurt, which is, thank God nobody was hurt, because that's kind of crazy what happened. But I'm more focused on just where Rihanna was when that whole thing went down, and where her kids was when that whole thing went down, and what's the next step? Will this woman be fully prosecuted? Will this woman be spending the rest of her life in jail? Will she be pleading out, and saying, by way of insanity, I'm not mentally well, and this is why this had happened. I'm more curious on the next step of this case. Like, where are we going with the next step of this case? And I think she has a track record. She's been arrested a few times. She's been arrested a few times. This is not her this is not her first rodeo. It's not her first rodeo. Give me 1 second. And listen, man, and Rihanna and ASAP, they have such a beautiful family. And for somebody to shoot up the home of Rihanna, a pop icon, a pop princess. Vince says snub nose with the with a diagnose. Listen, man, I just feel I'm also just feel for Rihanna and the kids, because I mean I know it had to be a traumatic experience for that to happen. But my question is this, right? Let me put Shorty back on the screen. Let me put Shorty back on the screen. Let me put the other picture back on the screen, because I know y'all probably off put from this picture. Hold on, let me put the other one back on the screen. Who does more damage? I want to know who does more damage. Is it women or is it men? Who does more damage in a man? Who does more damage, men or women? Because listen, the way I look at it is like this. Let's look at both sides in terms of who does more damage, men or women. Let's look at the woman side, right? Let's look at it both ways, as a man and a woman. The damage that a woman can do is very severe. We're talking about fake charges. We're talking about fake, sexual assault charges, trumped up lies, rumors, allegations. A woman could do so much in terms of your PR. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a man of a certain stature, and a woman comes out and says, he did this to me sexually, he violated me, you could lose a lot. But look at Shannon Sharp. Look at what happened with Kobe. Look what happened with Mike Tyson. Look what happened with so many men throughout history who women just put, charges on, whether they be real or whether they be fake. Um, and women can do more damage. They can have your kids. They can have your babies. They can take your kids. They can get married to you. They can take half of your money. They can take half of what you own. Um, so let's not be coy. A woman can do damage, and as we can see here, women can be violent. You're looking at a woman right here who took an AR-15 style rifle and shot into the home of a mother. So we see that woman can be violent. Women will grab the gun. Women will grab the knife. I've had a woman pull out brass knuckles on me before. That happened not so long ago. I had a woman pull brass knuckles out on me. So women can be violent. Women can be violent. Um, Now let's talk about men. Now men can be just as violent. Men could sexually take advantage of women. Men could physically harm women because they're more stronger. And of course a man can ruin a woman's life, of course. Of course, a man can ruin a woman's life. Of course, a man can come into a woman's life and, take her happiness, take her smile, take the things that she owns, take advantage of her. We've seen that. But what would you guys say? What would you guys say? Who can do more damage, a man or a woman? A man or a woman? A man or a woman? What would y'all say? My nigga Vent said, yo, I'm not feeling her, yo. Vent, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you saw this girl, not knowing what you know now, not knowing what you know now, I'm saying, if you saw this girl looking like how she looks in this picture right here, walking down the street, sitting at the bus stop, licking on a lollipop, like LL said, sitting at the bus stop, licking on a lollipop. If you saw her looking the way she was, you be on that. Stop it, bro. Why niggas gotta lie for? You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. If you saw her sitting at the bus stop, licking on the lollipop, know what I mean, you would be on that. You'll be on that. I'm saying, I'm saying based off of just how she looks. I'm not talking about her record. Cause think about it. If you meet somebody in the street, you don't know nothing about them. We've all been walking down the street. We saw a pretty girl, and we talked to her. She at that moment in time, she seemed like a nice girl. Maybe you go on a date with her, you get to know her a little bit a little longer, and then after a while you start to see her true colors. Then you start seeing that she's not a good person. You start seeing she has an attitude. You start seeing the flaws in her. But just based off of the first interaction, like I said, if she was sitting at the bus stop licking on a lollipop, you'll be on that. You'll be on that. Stop it, bro. You'd be on that. Yeah, she pretty. Dot dot dot. Crazy. ah. Vince says, but she gonna ignore me and keep talking out loud about Rihanna. I listen, man, she might be feeling you. She might be feeling you at the point in time. And then I know what I think would happen. I think that you would talk to her, you would take interest in her, and at that point in time, in the beginning it would be cool. Like in the beginning it would be like, hey, my name is Vent, blase blase blah, yo, can I take you out to dinner sometime, can we hang out sometime? She'd be like, yeah. And then you have nothing, you wouldn't think that at the beginning, but then after a while you'll probably go on a date with her, you'll probably chill with her, and then you're probably, why does girl keep talking about Rihanna? Everything out her mouth is Rihanna, Rihanna, Rihanna. Like, then you start seeing the red flags. But initially, yeah, you probably wouldn't see that. After a while, you'll be like, yo, why she keep talking about Rihanna? This girl been talking about Rihanna for 5 hours. Like, yo, I just want the cheeks, bro. I want the. I'm not talking to Rihanna. I'm talking to you. And in this picture that I got posted up here, I think she won like a pageant. So she was like a pageant girl. She won like back in the day too. It was like 2006. She's like 35, but she won back in the day. She was like a pageant queen. Yeah, she was like a pageant queen. She won like a bunch of pageants when she was younger. So she's like one of those girls. So she's used to being told she's pretty. She's used to being told like she's a pageant girl. Vince says, I'm gonna be like, hi Rihanna. No, we cannot get together. Bye, Rihanna. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like a lot of niggas put up with girls because they're crazy. You know how many niggas put up with girls just because they cute, just because they got a nice little ass, just because they got a nice little body. Niggas be knowing some of these girls is crazy. Like don't think for a second that this girl, because you say she's crazy. Don't think for a second that this girl wasn't getting dick. Don't think for a second that niggas wasn't smashing this girl. Niggas was smashing this girl left and right. Niggas put up with crazy girls. Niggas put up with crazy girls. A lot of niggas stick around for crazy girls. If the titties is right, if the body and the face is looking right, a nigga ain't gonna really care how crazy she is. A nigga gonna be right there he gonna be right there at the he gonna be right there at the psych ward with her, getting her right. Niggas put up with crazy girls. Don't think for a second that niggas ain't putting up with crazy girls. Niggas is gonna do that. And I don't know if she's crazy. I think that something mentally is happening with her. I don't know. But I'm just happy Rihanna's all right, man. I'm just happy that Rihanna and the kids is all right because when I saw that, I was like, damn, like, and then I saw it was like an AR-15 style weapon shot into the house. I mean, like, that's kind of crazy. Vince says she's obviously resourceful. She got them guns. She do got some guns. I want to know where the gun came from. Like you said, that was a good question, Vint. Where did them questions? Where did them guns come from? Where did them guns come from? Cali has one of the most strictest gun laws. Like you can't have guns in Cali. So I, they're gonna have to they're gonna have to do some research on where she got this gun from because you can't go because I saw she lived in Florida, but you can't take your guns from Florida and go to California. You can't do that. And they got very strict gun laws in California. Like you can't have guns in California. Like they're very, very, very strict. So I don't know. I don't know how she got them AR-15 style weapons out there. You know, that's going to be a question we need to. That's going to be something we need to know. But yeah, but all in all, I'm just happy Rihanna's all right and things worked out. And I hope that this girl gets the help she needs, man, because she needs some help. So I hope she gets the help she needs. Let's talk about my man Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has divorced his wife. He's divorced his wife, man. Um, this comes after his wife got on Instagram Live, complained about him, talked about him, and claimed that he was addicted to cocaine, sniffing up that white, that coca. He was in love with the cocoa. Now, I gotta be honest with you, man. What happened to bitches that used to hold it down? Let me ask that question. Let me put that in the poll. Let me put that in the poll 1 second. Why bitches don't hold it down no more? I gotta put that in the poll. Give me 1 second. I need to know. Why bitches don't hold it down no more? I'm putting that in the poll. Give me 1 second. Get that in the poll real quick. I'm trying to make a new poll. Give me 1 second. Damn, I can't make another poll. What happened? What happened? Oh, I gotta do it from the right here. Here we go. I'm trying to make another poll. Why can't I do another poll? What's going on? I miss how it used to be. It used to be different. Like you could just make a poll in your chat, but now they won't let me do polls in the chat no more. Wow. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make a poll in the chat, but they won't let me. Pin to the live. You got these damn playables. I don't want to do a playable. They messed up like this chat, bro. Like the chat, the way the chat used to be back in the day was better. Like now it's like more difficult. Like I'm just trying to make a poll, bro. Now hold on 1 second. Why can't women hold it down anymore for their man? Why can't women hold it down anymore? That's my. I want to know. Why can't women hold it down anymore? Here you got Dwight Howard. Allegedly, I don't know if he has a coke habit, but allegedly, his wife, pretty much outs him for having a coke habit. Oh, he's a cokehead. He's addicted. Our relationship is messing up because of the coke. He's addicted to cocaine. Why can't bitches hold it down? So what? A nigga got a coke habit. And I'm talking about Dwight Howard. So what? He like to have a little bussy on the side because we heard about him and Kitty, allegedly the transgender he likes to have relations with. Hold it down for your man. I feel like women don't hold it down no more. Why is your narrow black ass on social media exposing me? Why? You supposed to be my wife. Why bitches don't take why bitches don't take those marital quotes and those what do they call it, the when people get married, what do they call it? Why people don't take that what is it, for richer or for poorer, for health and sickness? Why bitches don't take that shit serious? You on the internet talking about she got this fucking Glad bag full of coke. And put that on the screen. This bitch had a Glad bag full of coke. And put this monkey on the screen. Give me 1 second. This bitch had a Glad bag full of coke. Talking about, look at this bitch. This bitch had a Glad bag full of coke. Talking about, oh, my husband, he's addicted. Our relationship is ending because of the coke. No, bitch. Our relationship is ending because you can't hold it down. Why can't you women hold it down in the social media era? Why is your narrow black ass holding up Glad bags full of coke? What's wrong with these women? 46 MD says she's sick of his behavior. He doesn't get a free pass. Vows. Man, listen, and thank you, 46 MD. Yeah, that's what it is. Vows. That's the word I was looking for. Vows. He's saying that she's sick of his behavior. He doesn't get a free pass. I reject those claims. I reject those claims. If you are a married woman and your husband is dealing with a coke habit, you do not take that to social media. You call up the family, you call up a rehab center, you call up you call up, his friends and his family. You have an intervention. You don't hold up Glad bags full of coke. What's wrong with you, bitch? What's wrong with her? You don't embarrass. See, that's the problem with social media. Women want to get online and they want to make it about themselves. Listen, when you're in a relationship, it's not about you. Anytime you're in a relationship, it's not just about you. You have to be considerate of the other person that you're with. You don't hop on the internet and out your husband like this. Imagine if this was vice versa. Imagine if Dwight Howard, his wife, was dealing with a coke habit and she was wilding out, and let's say it was reverse, Uno reverse, hit the Uno reverse card, right? And he got on the internet disrespecting his wife and pretty much exposing his wife for being a coke addict and all of that. A lot of people would be like, yo, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to your wife? Why you not going out there getting your wife the help she needs? Why you out here exposing her and doing this? That's what he's doing. I mean, that's what she's doing. But see, when a woman does it, we want to we want to give them a pass for the clown behavior. No, this is not how you go about it. If your husband is dealing with a coke habit, you do not go out there and expose him. That's not the right way to go about it. Call up a rehab center. Call up the mama. Call up Big Mama. Call up his father. Call up his uncles. Call up his friends. Call up his sponsors. Call up the people, call up his talent agent. Let everybody know that, yo, Dwight has a problem. I need help. He's addicted to coke. We need to help him. You don't take it to the social media. When you take it to social media, that shows me that you never really had love. Anybody that takes it to social media first, when it comes to their wife or their husband, then you didn't really have love, because that's not the first place you go to when you're dealing with someone that is your loved one. You don't take it to you don't take it to social media first. You go and get that person help. If somebody in your family is sick, right? Let's say if somebody in your family is sick. Now, let's be real. When somebody's addicted to drugs, they're dealing with a sickness, right? The addiction is real. If someone is sick, let's say if it's your family member, it's your girlfriend, would the first place you go to would it be Instagram Live? Would you hop on your Instagram Live? Hey y'all, Yo, my girlfriend is sick, yo. She's dealing with, she's dealing with a flu right now. I don't know what's up with her. Would the first place you go would be the social media, or would the first place would you go would be to take your girl to the hospital? See, but people don't think. They don't think like that. The first thing you do is get on the internet. The first thing you do is get on social media and expose Dwight Howard for being a cokehead. That's messed up. 46 MD says, we don't know the entire story, obviously. Even if we don't know the entire story, and I agree we don't know the entire story, you don't hop on social media and embarrass your husband like that. Why do we give women a pass? We give women too many passes in society. We do. You don't hold up a Glad bag full of coke exposing your husband. That's nasty work. I don't care what he was addicted to. I don't care if she held up a bag full of dildos. If she held up a bag full of crack cocaine, if she held up a bag full of heroin, if she held up a bag full of marijuana, if she held up a bag full of, acid, pills, Vicodin. I don't care what, fentanyl. I don't care what she held up. You don't disrespect your husband like that. Get your damn husband some help first. You know? Get your husband some help. You This is what you do when you're ready to get divorced. You don't do this in a loving marriage and you're trying to help someone. You do this when you're trying to get divorced. Her mind, in my opinion, her mind was already made up. She was already, her mind was already, this relationship is over, this marriage is over. I don't want to be with him. He don't want to be with me. So I'm gonna hold up a bag full of cocaine. That's what it tells me. 46 MD says Dwight Howard isn't in jail tonight, so it's really irrelevant. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't think personally. I don't think he's gonna go to jail because there's no way to really. There's no way to really quantify or to say that those are his drugs. We don't know if those are his drugs. For all we know, those could be her drugs. For all we know, that could be her stash. Maybe that's her stash that she's been hiding. Maybe she's been hiding the stash. Maybe she's been beaming up the Scotty. Maybe she's been tooting it up, doing a toot ski, tooting and booting it, rooting and cooting it. Maybe she's the one, from the rooter to the tutor, doing all that. Maybe it's her. Maybe it ain't Dwight. Now we know Dwight likes the bussy. We know Dwight likes the booty duty. We know Dwight, he likes to, he's one fry short of a Happy Meal. We know that Dwight, we know that Dwight. Ah, listen, Dwight likes to have fun. Dwight likes to have fun. Dwight likes to have fun. We all know Dwight likes to have fun. Now, we don't know if, let's say this, I'm just going to give a hypothetically because we don't know. Maybe his wife likes that. Some people like when people get married, some people like to, spice up the romantic. They like to spice up the bedroom. So, they might implement certain things, Dwight Howard, like you like if you're a straight man, you might want to add another woman to the room. For a person like Dwight Howard, he wants to add another man to the situation. He might wants to implement some cocaine to the situation. He might want to implement a midget. He might want to, implement certain things to spice up that relationship. You know? Zoe 4 says Dwight loves Dwight. Yeah, that's a fact. He do love Dwight. Listen, man. You see her holding up that bag full of cocaine? I think personally, I think that they're married, and I think that Dwight just wanted some excitement. He probably just wanted to add some cocaine to the bedroom. You know? He wanted to add some cocaine to the bedroom. When people are married, now I don't know how long he been married to this woman, But when people get married, they want to just add certain things to the love making. Maybe that's just what it was. Maybe she's trying to throw, spice on it. She's trying to throw, extra whatever on it. When in reality, it's just that y'all both was doing cocaine and y'all both was having a good time. Y'all both was, y'all both had some bussy in the room and y'all both was clapping the cheeks. And the good the getting got good, it was all Dwight Howard was all hot and bothered. Put that where? Right there. And listen, maybe the getting got good, maybe you had some bussy in the room, and the White House was like, I don't want to be married no more. I think this bussy and, and this cocaine is all I need. And that's why he filed for divorce. Maybe that's what it was. And then and maybe this is just this is just my hypothesis. Maybe she was brokenhearted because Dwight Howard chose the bussy and the cocaine over her. That's why she's crashing out. 46 MD says, I prefer the Charles Barkley bar drinking, throwing people through windows type of fun and bar. I agree. Me too. Zoe says, I agree. It takes two to tango. I agree. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, are y'all really like mystified by her holding up a bag of cocaine? Like, y'all not even gonna question. Maybe she it was her stash. Maybe it was her drugs. Maybe she was full aware that he was doing cocaine and she was doing the cocaine as well. Like I'm not blown away by that. I think that she knew full well he was doing cocaine, and I think that she partaked in the cocaine. You know, Zoe says, you know what? You're absolutely right. That's a fact. That's a fact. Come on, bro. She all of this she's probably doing all of this because Dwight, to me, Dwight Howard seems like a guy who's, in my opinion, right, from what I've heard, from what I've heard about him, because I've heard stories about Dwight Howard, and I've heard a Charlemagne story. Of course, we've heard the lawsuit story about all the gay sex he was having, right? And so there's been a lot of things about Dwight Howard. So if I'm putting all that into play, I think that Dwight Howard is still searching for himself. I don't think that he's, found himself yet. I think that he's struggling with with his sexuality. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love women. That doesn't mean that he's gay. I think that he's still struggling to find himself. Maybe he's using cocaine to cope with that. Maybe being in a marriage with a woman was not what he fully wanted. He's and you got to think he's dealing with a lot right now. He just got inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. He's dealing with a lot, man. He's reflecting on his career. When an athlete's career is over, it's it's hard for them to digest. A lot of people don't realize that. So he's dealing with his sexuality. He's dealing with a possible drug addiction, and he's dealing with the fact that something that he loved since he was a kid. Think about it. A lot of these basketball players, they've been playing basketball their whole lives. They've been playing it since, preschool to elementary, from elementary to junior high to high school to collegiate, from collegiate to in the NBA into the league, and then you play, 13 or 11 years in the league, and then maybe you play overseas, and then you deal with all different types of, am I in the league, or am I going to have a contract and free agency? Does this team want me? Does this team want me? You play overseas for a couple years, you come back to the league on a 1 year deal, and then one day you wake up and it's all over. And you gotta come to grips with something that you've been doing your whole life. Since you was a kid, it's over. You can't do it anymore. You can't run up and down the basketball court anymore. And listen, he's an accomplished player. He's made it to the Hall of Fame, but a lot of players have a hard time coping with that. Coping with that, it's over. Your career is over. You can't play basketball anymore. It's over for you. So I think he's dealing with a lot. He's dealing with his sexuality, possibly dealing with an addiction, and dealing with his career being over. It's a lot. Zoe says he's spitting 100% fact. That's a fact. I'm just keeping it real. 46 MD says my ex drove us into oncoming traffic on the highway, and we ran into a ditch. Yeah, ex-girlfriends can be crazy. Women can be very vindictive and very crazy, bro. They can be very vindictive, and I think that that's probably what's happening in this situation. I think that this woman was very vindictive. I think that she came to a realization that this relationship is over, so she decided to expose him. Zoe says, like you said, none of this was new to her. She indulged too. She and participated in some crazy ish too, most likely. Yeah, like come on, yo. She knew, she read all of those reports about the bussy and the the gay sex that allegedly Dwight Howard was having and all of these different things. Respectfully, she heard about these things, and I'm not saying that these things are true, but she heard of these things. So she had a clue of the wild side. You know, it's no secret. I think that she knew full and well what was happening, what was going on. I don't think that she was oblivious to any of this. Not for one bit was she oblivious. She's not fooling me. She's definitely not fooling me. Not for 1 second. You know, especially holding up a bag full of cocaine, holding up a bag of cocaine, holding up a big bag of cocaine. What's wrong with her? You don't embarrass your husband like this. Like, I want to speak to the women. I want to speak to women tonight. Would you do this to your husband? Would you hold up a big bag of cocaine if your relationship wasn't going the way you wanted to go? Like, who does that? Who does that? We live in an era of people taking it to social media. But if you really love somebody, if you really want to be with somebody, that's not going to be your first thing to do. If you really want to be with a woman, if you really want to be with a man, that's not going to be your first action. Let me go on social media and embarrass them. Your first thing is gonna, let me call his mom. Let me call his family. Let me call a rehab. Let me call somebody that could help us with this situation. It's not gonna be to pick up a phone. Let me pick up a phone and embarrass this nigga. Got this big bag of cocaine. Like, she got everything ready. She got the big bag of cocaine. Now, keep in mind, ask yourself this, right? If this is not her cocaine, why she got it so close to her? Why is it not up in the room somewhere and up in the underneath the bed or in the closet somewhere? Why she got the big bag of cocaine right by her side? She got it ready. She got the big bag of cocaine ready for her. She ready with the cocaine by her side. What's up with that? What's up with that, Jack? You got the big bag of cocaine by your side. Come on, you got the cocaine. And look at her grill. Look at her grill closely. You can't tell me she wasn't beaming up to Scotty. She got the Gary Payton face. She got the Sean Kemp face. She got the sniff. She got the sniffles face. You can't tell me she wasn't beaming up to Scotty. Come on, bro. Look at the grill. Look at the ice grill on the joint. She looked like she was beaming up to Scotty. You can't tell me she wasn't taking a tooski for the wooski. 46 MD says, I had another ex who cut off my index finger and threw a glass penny jar at my head. I went to the hospital for stitches and a concussion. Did they sew the finger back on? You said you had your index finger cut off. Did they sew it back on? How was that? How long did it take for you to heal? And did you get your full like filling back into your index finger? Because I know that had to be a traumatic experience. If she cut your index finger off, that had to be traumatic. The last situation I had with an ex was a girl from Costa Rica, man. She pulled out brass knuckles on me. She pulled out a brass knuckles on me and was threatening to hit me with them. She didn't hit me with them, but she pulled out a pair of brass knuckles and threatened to hit me with them. That's the last situation I went through. 46 MD says no. Wow. Wait, so they didn't reattach the index finger? Why they didn't reattach the index finger? You didn't have it on ice or nothing like that? You didn't like what happened? So they never attach, so you don't have an index finger? That's bugged out, man. Like what I'm curious to know what happened. Like what did she like throw it? Did they lose it? Like how did that happen? That's crazy, man. Nah, I ain't gonna front. That's unforgivable. If a girl cut off one of your fingers or she do something like that, that's unforgivable. That's unforgivable. She got to go to jail for the rest of her life. A girl doing something like that to me, did she go to jail? If a girl do something like that to me, she got to go to jail, bro. I got to hit her with a right hook before she go to jail. But 46 MD says they couldn't attach it because the risk of infection, and I didn't have insurance. Wow, wow. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. That's crazy. What happened to the girl? Did she get arrested? Did she face any like charges or anything like that? That's messed up, man. That's messed up. That's messed up. You should have sued her. Cause I see you said I didn't have insurance. You should have sued her for putting you in that predicament. That's messed up, man. She's in a mental institution now. Wow. So she pled like insanity or something like that. Wow, man. That's a messed up situation, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. That's messed up. So they never like charged her. They just said, well, she's mentally unstable, mentally unfit, so we're gonna send her to a mental institution for help. So she was never officially charged with the crime, is what I'm trying to. That's probably what happened, right? It sounds like she probably never got charged with the crime. Man. Hey, 46 MD, let me ask you this question because I was asking this question earlier, right? Now just be honest. Be honest. Because you said this girl is in the mental institution now. Hold on. Let me see. All right, you said this girl's she's in a mental institution now, right? Did you know that she was mentally unstable? Did you have a feeling? Did you feel it? Like did you like when you was with this girl, did you feel like, you know what? I don't think this girl is mentally stable. I don't think this girl is um mentally stable, but she's not all there. You know what I mean? Like she's not like, stable for a relationship, and not only for a relationship, but she's not stable mentally where she can't like comprehend, how to have a respectful, loving relationship. She's off her rocker. Like, did you have that feeling like she was mentally unstable? You say look up Rusk, Texas. I got my computer right here. Hold on, let me look this up. Rusk, Texas. Hold on, got my computer right here. Rux. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. What is it? Rusk, Texas. Rux, Texas. The city. Rux, Texas is the city in the county of Cherokee. Wait, is Rusk is a city in the county seat of Cherokee County, Texas, United States. That's what I'm seeing. Is that what I'm looking at? Rusk, Texas. I did a reel, but I did feel that way. I stayed because of our two children. Oh, Because I was saying earlier that men stay in these relationships with these women. I was saying this earlier, that men stay in these relationships with, with crazy women sometimes, or women that are just like mentally unstable, because respectfully I said that they got that fire. Now I don't know if that was your situation, because you said that you stayed only because of the children, so that may not have been your situation. But before, let's say this, let me ask this, this is a better question. Before you had children, right? Before you had children with her, did she have that fire? That's what I want to know. Before you had children with her, did she have that fire? Oh, the mental institution is there. Okay. Let me see. Rush, Texas mental institution. Let me look that up. Mental institution. Let me look this up real quick. Okay. Okay. Rusk State Hospital, located in Rusk, Texas, is a okay. So maybe she's. I guess that's where she's at. Okay. Or maybe that's where the hospital is at. Okay, that's where the mental hospital is at. Okay, that's crazy though. Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. That's something. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's nutty, man. That is nutty. So, do you have full custody of your kids now? Because if she's no longer in the picture, does she has full custody of your kids? You know, I would think so. You would, right? I think you got full custody of your kids, right? You would. I think you would have to now. I mean, that's a crazy story, man. To lose a finger, and I mean, she's in the mental hospital. Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. Yeah, but like, I mean, like with these women, man, you can't be embarrassing your husband, bro. Vince says it's good. We got real testimonials. Yeah, man, that was a real testimonial right there, man. That was a shocking story, bro. That was a shocking story. Yeah, salute to 46 MD for giving us that story, man. That's a wild story, man. And respect to you and your children, man. That's a wild story. Um, 46 MD says my son is 28 and an electrician. My daughter works at a Toyota Oh, that's good, man. That's a blessing right there, man. That's good to hear, man, that your kids is out there doing their thing, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Listen, man, I talked about it earlier. A woman can ruin your life, bro. Depending on the type of woman you decide to entertain, she could ruin your life, bro. Picking the right woman is very essential, bro. And like I tell men all the time, like listen to your instincts. Listen to your instincts. Um, listen to the red flags. If your spirit tells you that this is not the right person for you, listen to it. Don't even a lot of men, like they'll stick around because the girl got a cute face, nice body, nice ass, this, that, and the third, or just all physical things. And a lot of men will stay and then they'll learn the hard way. Like if your spirit tells you, yo, this is not the right girl for you, once you get that feeling in your spirit, once you feel it, and I feel like a lot of men have it because I've dealt with a lot of women and I felt it. I felt it like I felt it very early, like, yo, this is not the right girl for you. You need to get up out of this situation. This is not a good situation for you. Stop dealing with this girl. And you won't listen to it. You won't listen to it. You'll ignore that feeling. You'll put it at the back of your brain, and you just keep. Cause let's be real. Let's be real. Most men are gonna stick it out. Most men stick it out. And when it comes to relationships, it's always the woman that leaves first. It's never really the man that leaves first. Most men will stick it out with a girl. We'll stick it out for a long time until the girl decides it's time to leave. But I think that men, when you get that when you get that feeling in your spirit, like, yo, this is not the right girl for me, that's when you need to leave. Once you feel it, because you're gonna know if this girl fits into your program. You're gonna know if this is the right girl. This is the right girl I need to be with. This is the right girl that I could build something with. I could build a family. I could start a family. I could do this with. I could build with. You're gonna feel it in your heart. You're gonna feel it in your spirit. And then there's gonna be the opposite. You're gonna be around certain girls and you're gonna say, this is not the girl I want to build a family with. And a lot of men ignore it. 46 MD says, "Good talking with you, man. Thanks for the stream. Keep doing it. Salute to 46 MD. You know, but like, yeah, like I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like when you get that feeling, man, when you get that feeling that this is not the right girl for you, you need to get out of there. Don't stick around. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to figure it out. Once you get that feeling in your spirit, get the hell out of there. It's not worth it. You're going to learn in the long haul that it was a bad decision to stick around. She's going to prove every negative thing that you think about her when you see the red flags, when you feel it in your spirit that this is not the right person. She's going to prove you right 100 times. She's going to prove you right over and over and over and over and over. And that's the problem with men. We stick it out. A lot of us men, we stick around in these bad relationships. We stick around with these toxic women and we won't leave. We will allow her to leave first. KYB says, because they are also busy building their lives. Because relationships don't always last. Some women lean that you cannot depend on a man. They will be homeless if they did. I disagree. I disagree. Let me read that one more time. Because they are also busy building their lives. Because relationships don't always last. Some women lean that you cannot depend on a man. They will be homeless if they did. Yeah, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think a lot of women are selfish. A lot of women, they don't want to build with a man. They don't want a man to help them build. They think that they can do it on their own. And in reality, when they try to do it on their own, they end up homeless anyway. So you end up, messed up either way. If you had a man or if you didn't have a man, you still ended up in a bad situation. You know, a lot of these women, they just, they feel like they feel that they can do it on their own, but can they really? I mean, I feel like, women in this era are just very selfish. Very selfish. It's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about how they feel, what they want, what they need. It's never about what a man needs or what the family needs. Women put themselves over their man, they put themselves over their family, and they say, you know what, I'm going to put myself first. It's always about what they feel, what they want, what they got going on. But in reality, if you're in a relationship, it's not about you. It's not about you. When you're in a relationship, it's not about you. It's not about you, and it's not about the man. It's about both of y'all. Both of y'all have to consider each other. But when women get in these relationships, they don't consider that. They care about themselves over everything else. Vince says, hit that like button. That's a fact. Hit that like button. um KYB says, this is interesting perspective. My parents were divorced. My mom was not on government assistance after their divorce. She was in the military. My dad, too. Okay. Well, you listen, your mom, she was a strong woman. She handled her get down, she took care of you, that's what's up. She wasn't on no type of government assistance. Um, Listen, I'm not saying that no woman can do it by herself. Of course, women can do it by themselves, but I'm talking about, I'm generally speaking, can every woman do it by herself? No. Every woman can do it by herself. Yes, there's going to be women out there that have the intelligence, that have the strength, that have the tenacity to do it by themselves. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. But can every woman do it by themselves? No. And guess what? I'll say this. Can every man do it by himself? No. So wouldn't it make sense for us to do it together? Wouldn't it make sense for us to build something together? Wouldn't it make sense to have that woman hold down that man, have that man hold down that woman for that support, for that stability? That's all I'm saying, you know? KYB says, no, because everyone is different. I understand that everyone is different. But what I'm saying is, just because everybody's different doesn't mean that everything applies, that the same rules apply. What you're saying is, just because your mother got divorced from your father and she was strong enough and had the tenacity to raise you, right? And respect to her, that every woman can do it. No, every woman can't do it. And I wouldn't even say 2 out of 5 women can do it. I wouldn't even say 5 out of 10 women can do it. I would say it's a very small percentage of women that could do it by themselves. And I agree with your last statement. You says when you're building with the right person. I agree. You need to agree. You need to build with the right person. I agree with that. You know? Yeah, man. But at the end of the day, it's like, what my point is this, right? This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And I saw what you said. You said I'm agreeing with you. And salute to you. I'm saying this. This is my point, right? In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I think the women of today, I'm not talking about the women of 10 years ago. I'm not talking about the women of 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I'm talking about the women of today, right? We're talking about women that's 35, 30, 25, 20, right? Women of today, right? That age demographic, right? They prioritize themselves. They don't prioritize their man. They don't prioritize their relationships. They prioritize themselves. And that's a problem. When you're in a relationship, it's not about you. It's not about the man. It's about both of you. It's about both of you coming together and figuring things out, coming together and making things work. You know? It's not about neither one of you guys. 46 MD says that bag could be a bag of soap when I snort coke. I like it in bricks. Yeah, that could be a bag of baby powder. We don't know. That could be anything. That could be a bag of baby powder for all we know. I mean, she could be fronting like we don't know if that's cocaine. I mean, come on, bro. She put up a bag of white substance. And we're supposed to believe that that's cocaine. We have no clue if that's cocaine. We don't know. We have no clue. We have no way to quantify if this is cocaine sitting in that bag. How do we know? How do we know that that's cocaine? How do we know that that's cocaine? How do we know? How can we quantify it? Can you put it on a scale? Do you have a tester? KYB said that's absolutely correct. In my humble opinion, everything nowadays is out for themselves. That's a fact. These women today is all about themselves. You know, A relationship is not about one person. It's about both people coming together. If you go into a relationship and all you think about is your needs, your wants, what you want, what you're going to do, how you're feeling, then you're just going to have a failure of a relationship. If you're not considerate of your partner's feelings, and you're not considerate of what they're dealing with, what they're struggling with, and you're not trying to collaborate on things, then it's going to fail. And that's why a lot of relationships fail, because women, in my opinion, are out for themselves. They're out for what they can get, what they can earn, what they can get out the relationship. It ain't about trying to build with a man. If you're in a relationship and you're not trying to build with a man and you're not trying to collaborate, it's gonna fail. It's gonna fail. KYB says men included in my statement. LOL. These autocorrects laugh my butt off. I disagree. I think that men of this era, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, men in this era are willing to collaborate with women. And think about it, like I said, right? Men are always the last ones to leave. It's always the women. Look at these relationships these days. It's always the women. The women leave first. The women get out these relationships first. They break up first. They divorce first. They say that this isn't working out first. Let's be friends first. It's always the women. It's the women that give up on these men. It's the women that give up on these relationships. They give up. And it's because 9 times out of 10 for selfish reasons. Because they was never really collaborating. And I'm not saying that men are perfect. A lot of men have made mistakes. They've done things. I'm just saying generally, most of these women aren't really working with these men. KYB says it takes two to make a relationship work. Not always you have to take how the men were treating them. I mean, we could take that in consideration, but I'm just talking about the mentality. If your mentality is at the first sign of struggling in a relationship to leave, then you were never really committed to the relationship. Can we both agree to that? If the first sign of struggle, no matter what it is, because it could be a small problem, it could be a big problem. But if your first instincts is to leave a relationship instead of sticking it out, and we could both say that more men stay in relationships than women stay. Women are more prone to leave, men are more prone to stay. But if your first instincts is to leave a relationship, then you were never checked into the relationship. You were never committed to the relationship. At the first sign of struggle, at the first sign of a bump in the road, a struggle, that your first instincts is to leave, not stick it out, not try to figure it out, not to have any type of compromise, maybe not to have any type of a sit down, a talk, a moment of reflection. I mean, it's none of that. None of that. These women a lot of these women, they move around a lot, soulless, no type of reflection, no type of a moment of clarity. What did I do wrong? What did I play in this? It's just fire and fury. Oh, I'm out of here. I'm tired. I don't like the way you treat me, so I'm out of here. And like I said, I'm not saying that the men are perfect, but if your first instincts is to leave, were you really committed? KYB says, I agree. It depends on how deep the issue was. Example, if she was lied to and cheated on and beat it, etc. They have baggage nowadays. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It depends on the situation, but women are more prone to leave a relationship than they're prone to stay. You know, it's always the woman leaving. Every relationship is not going to be perfect. It's going to be bumps in the roads, and it's going to be struggles, and it's going to be a lot of issues. But if your first thing is, I'm out of here, then it's never going to work. Yeah, it depends on how you treat her. I agree. It depends on how you treat her. Mo says, well, oh, that's what Mo says. Listen, man, in my opinion, this is just how I'm feeling. I just think that women of this era they don't really have, I feel like this how I feel as a woman, right? As a woman, you're supposed to be in your feminine and emotional state. Women of this era, they don't want to be in their feminine and emotional state. They want to move like men. They want to move like men. They want to move like, they want to be hard and, oh, I'm getting out of here. Fuck this nigga. Fuck this. Get your money. Like in reality, that's not your nature. Women of this era, they want to move like men. They want to, they want to act like men. They want to be hard. And in reality, that's not your nature. That's not who you are. Like I said, you're supposed to be in your femininity. You're supposed to be in your emotional state. Have some moment of clarity. Take some time. And a lot of women, they do things like this. You just got out of a relationship, right? I've seen women do this, right? You just got out of a relationship. I'm talking to the women. You just got out of a relationship. You just broke up with your man, right? Why are you on another dick right now? Why are you sucking somebody else's dick right now? Why are you effing somebody off right now? That just shows me that you already was doing your thing already. You was already checked out. And a lot of women don't want to be honest about that. A lot of these women, they emotionally checked out already. They already was emotionally checked out. And that goes into what I'm saying. These women were never committed to these relationships. If you're in a relationship and you're emotionally and mentally checked out, that means that you was never there. You was never there. If you emotionally and mentally checked out, you were never there. Mo says, do you think the social media plays a part? Absolutely. Absolutely. Social media is one of the biggest tools to why relationships are failing these days. Social media is one of the worst things that has happened to relationships. Absolutely. Um, I want to get to your girl. She says, Amy was in a rush to marry. I've stuck by my man 11 years with no ring. Don't love together. Don't live together. Wait, let me read that one more time. Amy was in a rush to marry. I've stuck by my man 11 years with no ring and don't live together. Well, that man he should have put a ring on your finger, girl. I'm with you. If you was with that man for 11 years and wait, if you was with him for 11 years, you stuck by your man with no ring, he should have put a ring on your finger. At what point does he check in? Girl, I'm gonna be honest with you. You need to put pressure on that man. You need to sit down with him and say, listen, we've been together for 10 years. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You need to tell that man, listen, we've been together for 10 years. I'm committed to you. I've been your woman for 11 years. I think it's time for you to make that step. I think it's time for us to make. You needed to have that step. One of the biggest things is women, y'all need to communicate. Just communicate it. Communicate it to him. Sit down and let him know that, yo, listen, I've been with you for 11 years. Like, don't stop. See, that's what the thing with women do. Women, oh, I want to leave a hint. I'm gonna leave a hint for him. Hopefully he'll catch the hint. Don't leave the hint. Have to sit down and talk with him. Let him know. Put pressure on that nigga. Listen, we've been together for 11 years. I've been your woman. I've been holding you down. This is what I want. This is what I've been wanting. This is what's been on my heart. I need you to make that next step. No more hints. Lay it at the table. Lay it at the table. Lay it right at the table for him. Because when you lay it at the table, he got to keep it real with you. You kept it real with him. Now he got to keep it real with you. You gave him an honest, proposition and an honest question, and he needs to give you an honest answer on why he ain't doing it. Your girl says he said he doesn't feel he is the best man he could be financially. Then I'm gonna keep it real with you, girl. You need to make your decision. Do you want to keep sticking out with this man until he figures it out financially? You need to make a decision if you want to be with this man and until he figures it out financially, or if you need to be with someone else. You're gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna keep it real. Because depending on how old you are and where you are in your state at this point in your life, You got to make that decision because I mean, you can't. I mean, 11 years is a long time. 11 years is a long time. That's a decade. If he's not financially, and I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't stick around for a man to figure it out financially, but I mean, are you going to stick around for another 11 years, another 5 years? When does he plan on getting it together financially? And just because he's not getting it together financially right now, are you going to have it together in the next couple years? Or what's wrong? What's wrong with marrying me now or putting a ring on me now and us working it together? And until you figure it out, and then I'm still your woman and I'm still here. And then by the time you get it together, I'm still by your side. So I still think you should put it at his feet. I'm gonna keep it buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But yeah, you got to put that you got to put it on the table for him because I mean, 11 years is a long time. For a man to be with a woman for 11 years and you ain't consider putting a ring on her finger, I mean, come on. What are we waiting for? 11 years is a long time, you know? But the thing is, a lot of women they want to give men hints. Let me give him a hint that he needs to marry me. Let me give him a hint. No more hints. Put it at the table, bro. But if he's not ready financially, I mean, I understand, but what's wrong with him marrying? What's wrong with him marrying you? And like, let's say he marries you right now, right? And you guys go to the courthouse. You have a financially economic stable wedding, right? Let's say you go to the courthouse. You have something real small, and let's say you guys get married, and in the next 5 years, he gets it together. How maybe is that off the table? Maybe you got to come to a compromise. You know, your girl says we talking about women not staying. I said when our kids both 18, it's our time. That's it. How old are your kids now? Are your kids young now, or are they in their teenage years? Like, how old are your kids now? Oh, 15, 14. Well, that's not that far. It's not that far. I mean, listen, no, like when kids are in their teenage years, that time flies by. So I mean, that's not that long. I mean, that's in a few years. I think you could hold out until when they turn 18. I think that's actually a good plan. What you're saying, if you're gonna hold out until they turn 18, I think that's actually a good plan. That's not long. If your kids are teenagers, I mean, and you're gonna wait till they turn 18, I'm not mad at that. I think that's actually good. That's enough time for him to figure it out. And your kids will be grown by then. They'll be at 18. They'll probably be happy for you guys by that time for y'all to take that big step. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, but like if a man has been with a woman for 11 years, I mean, it's time to marry her, man, in my opinion. I'm with women on that because a lot of women they talk about that. They're like, man, I've been with this man for so long and he ain't putting no ring on my finger. I'm with women with that. When they say stuff like that, like if you've been with a woman for that long, I mean, it's time to marry her, in my opinion. If especially if you got kids with a woman and you've been with her that long and you got no ring on her finger, I mean, I don't understand. Like what are we doing? 46 MD says I married my wife at 46 years old. My first marriage. Kids are grown and we're happy. That's what's up. Your girl says we waited 5 years to introduce our kids from previous partners. Oh, okay. So does he have one kid and you have one kid? Like, is that how it is? He got one kid, you got one kid. I mean, that's a good setup. That's a good setup. 11 years is a long damn time, bro. Like, if I'm with a girl for 11 years, I'm popping the question. Let me catch up on some of these other ones. Mo says marriage today, not like our grand. I agree. Not like our grandparents, though. It's a business transaction. I agree. I agree, Mo. Yeah, listen, man. I don't think to in today, like today, how marriage is. It's not the same, bro. It's not the same. Women will hear those vows at a marriage, and a lot of them aren't really thinking about those vows. Let's be honest. When you hear those vows, and let me ask your girl, because you're the female in here. When you hear those vows, are you ready to keep those vows in sickness and health, for poor, for richer? Are you willing to keep those vows? Because I think that today's woman, they're not willing to keep those vows. For poor, for richer, for sickness and health. That means if your man is sick, you got to stand by that man's side. If your man is poor, if your man is on hard times, financial hardships, you got to stick by that man and try to figure it out. A lot of women, they don't want to stick around for that. A nigga got a common cold, but they out of there. A nigga lost his job, got two pennies in his bank account. They out of there. Let's be real. Are women today really willing to stick it out? Your girl says, "Yep, he's got a boy and me a girl. We just went through 2 years of parents passing on, being with each other for surgery." Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man. I think that, listen, you know, 11 years is a long time. It's time to make that next step. She says, vows with no ring or paper. How about vows and a respectable wedding? Meaning you have a wedding at a church and a nice little honeymoon with the paper. Let's say that he give you a traditional wedding with the ring. And I know the women want two rings. They want the engagement ring and they want the wedding ring. So let's say a traditional wedding, two rings, and a honeymoon. Are you keeping those vows? Because I want to hear both. I want to hear both versions. If he gives you a traditional wedding, she says, "I want it, but I'm scared of his child support." Well, his kids are almost 18, right? If his kid is almost 18, I think what child support is over at what, 21? I think it's over at 21. I mean, that's not far away. The kid is what his kid is what, 14, 15. I mean, that's not far away. I understand though, you don't want that child support eating up payments and stuff like that. I understand. It's not far away though. That's not far away. I think child support, let me look that up. When does child support end? Is it 18 or is it 21? Is it 18 or 21? When does child support end? What's the child support age? When Wait, what age? Let me put that. What age does child support end? I think it does depend on the state as well. Okay, it says, well, this is for New York State, and for New York State it's 21. But it does depend on the state you're in. I'm sure it's different in different states. Um, I know I'm locked in either way. Yeah, man, you gotta be locked in with your mate, man. That's the right way to do it. You gotta be locked in with your better half. That's the way to do it. A lot of women are just giving up on men. You gotta stick it out with your man. Stick by your man. You know. Let me see something. But yeah, listen, y'all, I'm gonna call it a night. I've been on here rocking out with y'all for a minute. Um, this your first time here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Salute to your girl. Salute to 46 MD. Salute to Mo. Salute to Vent. Salute to everybody that was in the chat. Zoe, Fo, everybody that was in the chat. Yo, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing lives this whole week. I'll be trying to do a live on different topics or different things. So I'm gonna be popping up all the time. Make sure y'all pop out. Um, and with that being said, y'all guys have a good night, man. We out. Toodles.